In 2005, Steven Johnson published his novel Everything Bad is Good for You, in which he argues that video games and television are making people smarter by demanding more complex cognitive skills. To make his points, he attacked the act of reading in the following quotes. Ahem. Reading books chronically underestimates the senses. Unlike the long-standing tradition of gameplay, which engages the child in a vivid, three-dimensional world filled with moving images and musical soundscapes, navigated and controlled with complex muscular movements, books are simply a barren string of words on the page. Only a small portion of the brain devoted to processing written language is activated during reading, while games engage the full range of sensory and motor cortices. Books are also tragically isolating. While games have for many years engaged the young in complex social relationships with their peers, building and exploring worlds together, books force the child to sequester him or herself in a quiet space, shut off from interaction with other children. These new libraries that have arisen in recent years to facilitate reading experiences are a frightening sight. Dozens of young children, normally so vivacious and socially interactive, sitting alone in cubicles, reading silently, oblivious to their peers. So, basically, reading bad, gaming good. Got it? Got it. I know this was published in 2005, which is over 20 years ago. Insane, by the way. Some people still think this way about reading, and in this video, I will be convincing Steven Johnson, and by association, you, yes, you, that this take on reading is not only false, but damaging. Roll the clip, please. Part 1. The negatives of gaming. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I love video games. They're a perfect way to disconnect from the real world for a while and enter amazing visual mediums. Additionally, they can also help foster connections with other people through a shared interest of a specific genre of gaming. But like most activity involving screens, it has its downsides. One of the most notable ones is addiction. According to Harvard Health Publishing, constant exposure to video games can lead to a condition known as Internet Gaming Disorder, IGD for short. Its symptoms include withdrawal, loss of interest in other activities, failure to take control, and continued gaming despite psychological problems. That's why the article suggests that gaming in moderation is the best way to subsidize these symptoms because it introduces this magical thing called time management, a personal schedule that will benefit you and your goals while also making time for personal interest. Part 2. The importance of reading. Time for some rebuttals. According to an article posted by 95% Group, there are 13 definitive reasons why reading is important. The reasons most relevant are: Number 2, reading improves critical thinking skills. Given the availability of all kinds of information via the internet, people might be asking, why is reading so important if I can just Google it? Google might give you a lot of information, sometimes factual and sometimes not, but it doesn't tell you how to think. Building critical thinking skills is more important than ever for our children, especially if they are using the internet. Critical thinking, or the ability to think deeply about a topic, question, or idea, is a skill that needs to be practiced like any other. When children spend a lot of time reading, they strengthen their ability to think about something from another point of view and to problem solve for someone outside of themselves. Finding solutions to a character's problems helps children to think through other issues around them with similar discernment. Number 9, reading helps to build and maintain memory. When you read, your brain actively encodes and stores information, creating new connections between neurons. Visualizing scenes, characters, and details from a story engages the brain's sensory regions, enhancing memory retention through vivid mental memory. Additionally, the act of repeatedly encountering words, phrases, and concepts while reading reinforces memory pathways, leading to improved recall and retention of information in the long term. According to research, reading strengthens the white matter in your brain, making it easier to concentrate, while matter functions as insulation, wrapping around long nerve cell wires. This serves as communication connections between brain cells. Part 3, the rise of #BookTalk/subculture. Back in the early to mid 2000s, subcultures of any kind were seen as taboo or abstract to be mainstream. An article posted by Taylor and Francis online explains how shared reading can help navigate loneliness. The impact of shared reading goes beyond socializing and literacy. Reading can encourage us to think and act responsibly and may positively impact the broader community through an increased dedication to social responsibility. In the United States, for instance, there is a rich history of book clubs and other versions of shared reading serving as catalysts for social change, particularly in the context of women's rights. In previous decades, when women rarely attended college and were not permitted to vote, book clubs provided a platform for intellectual discourse and interaction. It is perhaps unsurprising that with the rise in the use of social media to learn and connect, shared reading has maneuvered into this space. These platforms facilitate an easy space for forums that leverage the extensive use of social media to promote a shared love of books. An obvious example of such a forum is #BookTalk. This hashtag is used on the social media platform TikTok, where self-published authors have thrived in promoting their work, and a community of book lovers share their top picks and book reviews. Its popularity and effectiveness are evidenced by the 200 billion plus views of #BookTalk since it built its reach during the COVID-19 lockdowns. So, in conclusion, reading good, gaming bad? I'm just kidding, but in all seriousness, these 3 sections perfectly lay out why reading is a fundamental skill that is necessary for human development, whether that be cognitively or socially. In that regard, Stephen Johnson's novel aged poorly in modern-day society because it directly negates one of the most popular subcultures of the 2020s. Overall, I hope this video prompts you to read a book or at least put down the game for a few hours. Thanks for watching. Bye.